With 2019 coming to a close and 2020 showing itself to the world very, very soon, or by the time this video comes up, it might be the very beginning of 2020, very end of 2019. We'll see. I'm filming this on my birthday, which is December 29th. If you want to leave me a happy belated birthday down in the description below and subscribe as a birthday present. But anyway, what I want to do from here on out until I stop my YGO channel is I want to yearly go over what decks I end the year with. And by that, I have a little bit of a criteria for it. It's just the fact that it has to be like sleeved up, made for the most part, and in a deck box, because I have a lot of deck cores laying around. But as you see behind me in this holder here, this right here, these are all of the decks that I have at the end of 2019. So this is going to be kind of a collection video. I recently reached 400 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Ending the year strong. So I guess this can be considered a 400 subscriber special, birthday special, end of 2019 super special video of just going over a bunch of decks. I won't go too in depth with any of them. I'm just going to, sleeve through the cards really quick and everything, but show you guys my collection of decks that I have made at the end of 2019, and then in the end of 2020, a year from now, we'll see what I changed and everything. So without further ado, let's switch cameras here so that way you can see the decks a little better and start the video. Okay, so to start on off, I'm actually going to start with the only deck that I have right now that is not labeled. I do not remember what this is, and opening it up, we see it's Volcanics. Now, I haven't deck profiled this yet, but just run through quick. I understand the secrets look better, but when I first picked up Volcanics, I actually just decided to do a Shatterfoil route. This is a pretty standard build. I don't think any part of this is really like super, like me being like a genius. I don't even think this deck is completely made, but it's made enough to be part of this. The Super Blaze Accelerators that are actually worth quite a pretty penny. I know for a while I actually, there was only one listing of these supers on TCG Player, so I felt pretty cool having one of the few copies on the market, and it never ended up selling. Another thing is maybe 2020 we can get some hollow Volcanic scatter shots. Maybe they'll do something like the side sets, like man, the name's escaping me, like Hidden Summoners and stuff, or Fist of the Gadgets is a better example, where they make Volcanic support and then hollow out the rest of the deck. Well, a boy can dream, right? This is my Destiny Hero deck here, Cross Crusaders, and interestingly, relatively expensive rare. The extra deck, I actually have, let's just go through the extra deck real quick here, and I have these nice OCG fusion sleeves, which is really cool, and then the one Honest Neos. I have to upgrade to the super rare Shadow Mist, especially now that the structure deck is out again and reprinted. 3 Stratos, beautiful, never thought I'd see the day. This build needs some updating. Of course, I put the 3 Stratos, 3 Malicious, and stuff like that, but and then the Vision Hero package in there. But ultimately, I haven't touched this deck in a hot minute. I do like it a lot. It's definitely my favorite variant of E-Heroes, or not E-Heroes, but my favorite variant of Heroes by far. So I definitely would touch this deck again. Just, I don't know. I got so many decks to go through. I haven't really been feeling making decks lately, actually. Hopefully 2020, especially with the new Master Rule update, I will get back into the groove of things for sure. This is my Battle Wasp deck. Battle Wasps, actually, I haven't really thought about them much in terms of the new Master Rules, which is coming in quite a few months, so it's not super right now, but I think they probably will definitely get a buff with the new Master Rules for sure. I have to update it. I actually updated. I put Battle Wasp Nest in here. I had, I think, something, either Rivalry of Warlords or the other one, whatever the Rivalry of Warlords is the type, so whatever the element is, I might have done that Gozen match. That sounds right. TIGI, my TIGI deck is probably one of my favorite. I only have 2 TIGI Hyper Librarian. Now that with the new Master Rules coming soon, I guess this is going to be a video about me speculating how good these decks will be next year, which makes sense, I guess, since this is a reflection. TIGI's I remember like building this deck and making this deck profile really early one morning between like 3 a.m. and like 7 a.m. before like I went to school and stuff. College, not like high school or anything. But I remember, I don't know, it was well received, and I think it's one of my smartest like deck profiles to date. Like, definitely, I think I made a lot of choices that sometimes in my deck profiles, as many of you probably notice, I make some wonky choices. Comments let me know, and then I reflect and I'm like, oh, you're completely right. And with TGs, I don't know, I feel like I got that pretty good for what I was trying to do with the deck. This is my Necros deck. I've actually never profiled it. I've never really used it much. This is a very basic build. I got them all when Dual Power came out, and I don't even think I have the 3 Charits in here. I think I just have 2. I wanted an excuse to put my Ulti Vanities Ruler. I remember the Cyberdark Impact packs were at Dollar Tree near me, which if you guys don't have a Dollar Tree, it's where everything is $1 in the store. I'll do this one in a second. And I just bought a lot of the packs. As you know, back then, or even now, but back then before I bought singles, you know, the only way to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards was that cheapest $3, $4 pack. This is my Gishkis. I definitely love them. But Cyberdark Impact, I just bought a lot of the packs and I pulled nothing, but I got that ulti, and that was like the only good thing. That and Lightning Punisher, which looks like Kakashi a little bit. I'm not going to edit the picture in here because I'm going to be doing this from my iPhone, but Google Lightning Punisher. He looks like Kakashi. Gishkis are very, very cool. This isn't max rarity, but it's like definitely high rarity with the Super Murray of Greeds, Ultra Trade-ins, the Duelist League Blue salvages and stuff like that. I love this deck. I got this from a build that Mega Capital G showed off in one of his videos, and if you get the combo going off, it's super, super, super glass cannon, but it's very, very fun to pull off because you just keep drawing cards. Lunalights? Nope. This is just a card I think might be viable in Prank Kids. With the new Master Rules, I think Prank Kids may actually like do something even more. I have to update this a lot. Again, the cool fusion sleeves. My biggest issue with Prank Kids is I like messing around with ratios of things, and I like just messing around, like mixing decks together, and Prank Kids have to use a lot of their own cards in order to work. Ultra instance there. Also, Pot of Desires I don't like in this deck, even though it makes the most sense as a draw card for this deck. I wish they would get some kind of in-archetype draw card. That would actually be the best. You have this in the screen here, so might as well. I skipped it because I was telling a story, but Fortune Fairies, the deck that I have the most views on YouTube. I was thinking about redoing this with some more spellbook cards. I believe someone commented on the video telling me that it was viable, and I agree with them, and I added this to the extra deck. But other than that, and I got another Ultra Wonder Wand, but other than that, this is what you guys see in the video. I think I might have updated like 1 or 2 more cards in here, but basically, I don't know. I haven't touched this deck in a while, and I should, considering the fact that I guess more people know me for this than any other content since it's my most viewed video. But ultimately, I don't know. I'll touch it one day, but for now, I just keep seeing decks that are much more interesting to me. I have like 4 decks half built that won't be in this video that I haven't deck profiled yet either. That will probably be January and February of 2020 that I'll be doing. This is my Maggio deck, just, you know, the super poly targets, the danger engine in here. Maggio, I think, like, of course I can't look back yet because we're currently in it, but I think in a few years' time I will look back on Link format, like Master Rule 4 before the revision, and it's safe to say Maggio is my favorite deck of that format. The reason why I say that is because going forward, Maggio will lose a lot of its power, considering the fact that now without Link, Super Poly gets a lot kind of iffy, and I don't know, Maggio just, other decks have more options than Maggio now, so I think it'll be knocked back a peg. My Crusade deck, another top views deck here. Just really hollowed out. I'm really glad they decided to release Leonis and Super Rare. And then the other ones, the Prismatic Secret Rare, all hollowed out. Well, all that could be hollowed out, or at least what I have. I don't know if Jester Confit comes. I think it does. But I don't know, Crusade is definitely very beautiful deck, especially with the hollow upgrades, and definitely super fun if you get it off. Next up here we have my Oddeyes Endymion. I have not touched this since they got, like, Endymion got hype from, like, Simo and Triff and all of them. Like, it's been a long time since I touched this deck. But it's basically, I think I added All Eyes Phantom Dragon. Disregard the ratios in these. These are definitely just me messing around as opposed to me, like, being like, oh, this is the best version of the deck or whatever. I added, like, you know, Time Gazer, Chronograph Sorcerer. I think this deck actually has changed the most since I profiled it, and I haven't profiled it since. But, of course, maybe one day I will profile it when I decide it's actually good enough to show off. And then here's my Yosenju Demise deck with the... I have mixed feelings about this rarity. I know people hate it. It is kind of gaudy, but at the same time, I love it a lot. So Yosenju's, I don't think this changed at all since my profile. I do like the fact that, I don't know, it's just, I'm a sucker for when, like, the main monsters of a deck are all secret. It just looks really nice. Burning Land, my secret tech 2020. Into the Void, which is actually very expensive now. I guess Yosenju's, all they need is super expensive draw cards between Into the Void and Card of Demise, and then the secret Tenki's there. Tenki, I love Tenki, and it's very useful, especially with those new Beast Warriors coming out in 2020. I forgot the name of them, but they're like based off of Chinese lore and mythology, or not mythology, I think even like, the point is like Chinese stories, and Tenki's very good in that too, but also I feel like they've reprinted it too much to where like any version other than the ulti has like lost all of its value. Fright Furs are, I think, the true winners of Master Rule 4 Revised, considering the fact that like Kraken was bought out. Also on the camera here you can see how, I don't know which one's European print and which one's English, but how one's purple and one's like dark blue or something. That's very interesting to me. That's not the lighting, that's actually like they look different. Like here, we'll swap them and you see they're still very different. I think those are the cards I have that are the, like, show the most difference. But anyway, Fluffles definitely are super good in Master Rule 4 Revised, or at least plan to be super good. Oh yeah, at the time of me recording this, Fright 4 Reborn is like a lot of money now. But we'll just have to see, I guess, how good this deck is actually. Of course, now that they have patchwork and they do not have to rely on links, I think this will be a lot better. Oh, the Fluffle Penguin is back there from that skit I did for Master Rule 5. You should check out. But I don't know. It makes sense that they'll be good, but I'm not sure if they'll actually be super good, or if it's like DDDs where they like are probably going to be good, but they might not actually. I mean, ultimately everything is speculation. We won't know. Even Junk Speeder, we do have 2 ban lists to go and more support to come out, and more cards to come out before the new Master Rule gets revised. This is my Chronomaly deck, which actually in 2020 gets some support. That's why I have this guy in here. It gets a main deck monster that basically you can send a monster, Chronomaly monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and an opponent's monster on the field like loses attack times that equal to that monster, that sent monster's level times 200, I think. And so this is the highest like level / rank that you can choose for this, because it's level or rank, not just level. So I don't know. I think that might be a gimmicky way to potentially get the OTK off a little easier, a little more in archetype, because I know an issue with Chronomalies is that they super restrict you into your own archetype if you're using a lot of their effects. So hopefully that new support does something to the deck, and this is just something I think might actually work with the deck a little bit. So I put that in there to maybe mess around with it. Sometimes you'll see some loose non-sleeved cards that I just have in there in order to like test the waters and be like, oh, this might be good in this deck, but I'll forget about it. So I'll just put it in the deck box, so that way next time I look at the deck, I'll know to mess around with it. This is Shaddaa Lunalights. Dugaris has gotten some slight hype because of the new Master Rules, and of course Shaddaa's in 2020 will be a great deck again with the structure deck coming out for sure. Some dangers in here. I really like the Lunalight, the fact that, I hate to say it because it's not true Lunalights, I will admit that. I like that Lunalights can go for the rank 4s very easily, and then with Shaddaa's, it's just a nice deck to add Shaddaa's into, in my opinion. This definitely is one of my like more meta decks, or it used to be. Of course, they got power crept a little bit, especially when Rusty Bardish was banned, but still, I kept it around, of course. Dream Mirrors are the reason I went to my first locals, because I tried to pick up as much of the sneak peek cards as possible so I could be one of the first deck profiles on YouTube. I know it's selfish, but it was good motivation to actually get me up and going there. Dream Mirrors, I don't know if they'll ever do anything. I hope so, but from what I know now, they definitely aren't the best deck, but the gimmick is still very, very, very cool to me, and I will never get sick of that. Phantasm Spiral. I think I removed the TIGIs from this because I realized that, oh, well, I left them in the extra deck unsleeved here, but I think I removed, or I want to remove, yeah, I did not remove. I actually, funny story about this, I'll come clean. When I looked up all the Phantasm cards and I bought them on TCG Player, like a while ago, before like last year, I guess I skipped over this card and I like didn't know of its existence for a while. And then whenever I did like remember that I was missing one of the Phantasm Spiral cards, it was like such a cheap price that I didn't want to buy it from TCG Player just for the one card. But then I was able to throw this into an order recently, so I actually can finally make the deck as good as it should be. And maybe I'll switch out some of the TIGIs for it as well. Cubics I literally haven't touched in probably 2 years. This is a mixture of a bunch of different strategies that I've seen, whether it be on Facebook. I know I took some things from Trell from Team EPS's video. I think I took the Denko Sekka idea from him. Just a bunch of random cards. The best part about this, though, is you can't tell on camera, I don't think, but these are like the KMC sleeves, which feel amazing, and a lot of the deck is hollowed out, like to either max rarity or like high rarity at least, and I love when decks are like super hollowed out. So I don't know, it's just nice to shuffle, like literally feeling wise, and also aesthetically it looks very cool. So that's definitely honestly one of the main reasons I like Cubics, is because it's a deck that I'm able to do that to. My Vendread deck, my first ever deck profile. I definitely have to update this, and with the new Master Rule revision in 2020, I think they can synchro spam even better. I kind of, in my deck profile, I had a lot of one-ofs, so if you see this right now, this is an unofficial deck profile, like revamp. I do just like a lot more 3-ubs and a lot more strict, because I was so excited for all the zombie support that I kind of was like, oh, one this, one that, one this, one that. But I don't know, definitely did not work out at all. Sekka's BA. These are definitely, or Sekka's BA beasts. I definitely have to re-look at this deck. It's something that I've been putting off for a while, but with the new Master Rule revision especially, I want to actually sit down and learn how this deck should properly function more completely, and like not master it, but basically master it. Because, you know, I understand what Burning Abyss do, but ooh, look at that. It's not only foreign, but it's like slightly shifted up. I love that. But I don't know. This deck is very cool to me, and obviously a lot of other people. So I want to do the deck justice, and so I definitely want to relook at it, learn what they want to do, and focus more on that, as opposed to kind of fit it in with a pre-consisting strategy that I think I want them to do. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but you'll see when I revamp it and show it in 2020. This deck I want to work so bad. That's why I have it sleeved, even though it's gone through the most revisions. Like, I've completely unsleeved it, stored it away, and then taken it back out and tried again. Magical Muskets need something. I don't know what it is, but they need something mighty fierce. It's a shame this became an FTK, because Slash Draw was like a low-key tech in the deck, actually. But ultimately, I don't know. Magical Musketeers. Evil Mind actually is a pretty good card for the deck as well, but even with like slightly good random cards that might work in a deck, Magical Muskets have a very, very tough time doing anything. Maybe with the new Master Rule change, but at this point I'm kind of just saying maybe with the new Master Rule change because I know things will be different, but because things will be different doesn't mean that things will be different in the favor of the decks I want to be better. This is just like all the MathMech stuff that I haven't touched at all, but I like got it all. All of like the main deck stuff. I'm not going to build a MathMech deck, but just like use them as some supplementary support for my, these are the fusion sleeves. I have to actually, this is definitely a work in progress with the extra deck, but basically this was my genius, not master deck, but something I thought could work. This is my Clock Wyvern, or not Clock Wyvern, yes Clock Wyvern, but what is it called, Clock Dragon? Yeah, Cyber's Clock Dragon, OTK. What this is Cybers have some broken support. They can swarm very easily, they can search, they can do all this stuff, and even though there are Cybers archetypes and all of this other stuff that they work together, I figured what would happen if you like used some of the coolest Cyber support and use the fact that everyone basically has to use links, especially in the metagame. So you would use Super Polymerization with Clock Wyvern to bring out Cyber's Clock Dragon, and then you could use your own links and all of this stuff, and ultimately I stick by that it's a great idea, but the fact that in just a few months we will no longer be required to use link monsters to get into our extra deck, the deck suffers severely for it because its gimmick was the fact that it would rely on your opponent using link monsters. This is my Paleozoics. These are just, so I use Shackles, I feel like is a poor man's way to draw cards in this deck. Ulti Swap Frogs are like $100 to $120 right now, and I wish I had gotten them when they were like 60, I think was when I checked. Same thing with Super Dynamiscus. I think it wasn't too much when it first came out in the tournament pack. I could be wrong, but by the time I noticed it, it was like already hyped a little bit. It's not too bad now, but I have most of the Paleozoics hollowed out to their highest rarity, and as you saw with my frogs, also to the highest rarity except the Swap Frogs. Okay, so this is my Fire Fist deck here, Fire Fist Zodiac deck. Now I know with the new Master Rules this will be a lot better, and in addition to that, if the Yugi gods allow us to get Trident back, I would kill for that. The ultis in here, just the Ultra Reborn Tengus. I definitely tried to go all out with this deck. The red fire formations, because like Fire Fists are red. I don't know. I'm a sucker for the Duelist League colored names for sure. But I am very excited to touch this deck when the new Master Rules come out. And we need Trident for Zodiac because I feel like all of the Xyz monsters for Zodiacs right now that Broad Bull and Trident have been banned, they have no end goal, which is why they have to be with the Fire Fist in order to really do anything. Here's just my Domain Monarch deck. This is kind of out of order. I think this is the last deck profile I did, which shows you how long it's been since I've done a deck profile. And they're kind of out of order, but ultimately I have to adjust things, like add 2 more Tenacity to the list and everything, but I don't know. This is definitely a very cool deck, and once Pantheism goes to 3, which I strongly believe it may, then it's game over for all of you. And then probably my favorite deck, and I'm not sure, I'm assuming it would probably be better in Master Rule 4 Revised because you can summon as many Xyz as you want without relying on the link pointers, is Infinitrax, also out of order, but I think this will do something for sure. Meta, maybe not, but be better than what it is right now, 110% Infinitrax will be better in the new Master Rule. And then that's all of my decks, and for a little bonus, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of my extra decks that didn't have like the fusion sleeves and stuff like that, the OCG fusion sleeves, have had this nice like border to them, and that's because I use the KC official Konami sleeves for all of my extra deck cards for all of my decks, so that way I could swap out certain staples, especially in Link format where you need like the Nightmares and Boral Sword for like, or speaking of which, for like all of your decks. You can just have one Boral Sword with this sleeve and just swap the extra decks between them. So that's how I'm able to kind of cut corners a little bit, because for a time I was actually buying, like I had like 10 Nightmare Cerberus and Phoenix because I like decks to be complete. But I bought so many of these nice sleeves. I think they're my favorite sleeves, like look-wise, because it makes that nice border on the outside, that I just decided to do all these for my extra decks. So these are all of my Link monsters that I kind of switch between decks, slash even if I don't actively switch between decks, I'm highly speculating they would be good in multiple decks. So my camera ran out of space, so I'm just going through these very quickly. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Here's to a wonderful 2020, and even though I will be posting less frequently, I definitely am excited to see where my YouTube channel goes, and thank you guys so much for being the first 400 to get on the JC Theater Yu-Gi-Oh train here. I appreciate you guys more than anything, and have a great new year. See ya!